Good evening, everyone. It's me, the Captain. Right, so today's video has been put forward by my brother. He wants a new computer. But the thing you need to know about my brother is he's a bit of a cheapskate. So he's given me a budget of £200 to build him a reasonable computer that could do some light gaming and check emails and stream Netflix, etc., etc. £200. Well, I like a challenge. So he's given me his old computer from 2005. And we're going to be using that case. So it's going to be like a retro build, except with new stuff inside. So join me on this epic journey of can the Captain come in on budget? We shall find out. Right, so that's all his new components, and I've shopped around, and we'll get to those later. This is his old computer. It's a Packard Bell Intel, Team Blue, not very good, from, I don't know if you can make it out, 2005. So let's see what we've got in here, shall we? Oh my good grief, what have we got in here? Right, so an obsolete power supply, that obviously get replaced. Various old cards, I don't even know what processor this is running. Oh, an IDE cable, oh that's out the arc. Oh right, okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to take all this out first, give this case a bit of a clean, a bit dusty in here, ooh, disgusting. And then we'll rip it all out and see what we've got left. Right, and there we have it. Stripped it all out. He had a whopping 512 megabytes of RAM. I'm still curious to see what processor we've got in there. We'll look at that later. Right, so bits that I'm keeping. So front panel, we've got some nice little SD card gubbins here. I'm going to try and keep that on the original motherboard. Looks like a USB connection. He's got an old 80 gigabyte hard disk drive. Now, the main operating system on the motherboard, which I'll show you, is going to be an SSD. I'm going to keep that there as a slave drive. He says it has got some photos and stuff on it, so that will also be included, but it won't be the main drive, so it won't slow the computer down at all. So, give this a bit of a clean, and we're ready to start building the motherboard up. Right, so it's time to start building up the motherboard. Always put the motherboard on the box that it comes with. So this is the motherboard we've chosen. We've gone for a Gigabyte A320M, which is an AMD board. Okay, so let's open it up and have a look at it. And get it open. Nice and gentle down. Oh, careful. Right, so it's a DDR4 board, AM4, so I've got a Ryzen 3 processor that I've got for him, which is second hand. Now it's out of one of my old builds that I am going to sell to him on the cheap. And here it is, one Ryzen 3 processor, the 3200G with onboard Vega graphics. So what we're going to do, we're going to stick that in the board first. And very careful, you don't get damage the pins. Now, getting hold of any CPUs at the moment is absolutely a complete pain in the butt. So, triangle on the CPU matches up to a cutout here, little triangle. So we just drop that in, give it a wiggle, and lock it down. Okay, that's the CPU fitted, nice and hard, eh? Next, I've got him some RAM. Now, this RAM I managed to get on eBay. Never been used. It's 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is a lot better than what he had. It's actually RGB as well. Even though the case doesn't have an RGB, it's a nice little touch. This only cost me 20 odd quid. So, very straightforward. 8 gigabytes at 2400 megahertz. Perfect pairing to the Ryzen processor. So, all we got to do, line up the grooves, like so. Press down till it clicks. Same with that one. Line up the grooves, press down till it clicks. There we go, nice and easy. So next step would normally be fitting the cooler, but like I said, we're not using a hard drive on this one as an operating system. We're using an SSD. Now most people get an external SSD. However, I managed to find a 240 gigabyte NVMe PCI 3rd gen SSD, which actually goes on the motherboard itself. So this will speed, again, even faster than an external SSD. I seem to have put my screwdriver down somewhere. What have I done with my screwdriver? It's all gone. Ah, there it is. Right. So, take the screw out. Get the right bit. Remember, I've got my proper electrical toolkit. I always recommend making sure you've got a nice toolkit. It just makes your life so much easier. I can repair phones and anything with this, really. But we've just got to find the right bit for it. Let's try that one. So there we go. Yeah, there we go. So this is actually this little thing here. It's a wafer thin little SSD. It's going to have Windows on it. It's going to be the main operating system for him. And it will, as I say, it's got 240 gigs. Now I got it on the cheap because it's X-Display. Again, it was about 20 odd quid. So it was an absolute bargain. I think I'm actually winning the battle. Right, so that is that done. So I'm almost done. Next step is to put the cooler on it. But before I do, we can have a look at the simplisticness of this board. So he's got six USBs on it, 4 USB 3s. He's got 2 USB 2s. He's got gigabit LAN outputs for audio. He's got HDMI and a DVI output. Neither one that he's got, he uses an old VGA monitor. There's an adapter that we're going to have for him, but it gives him an upgrade path. So he can put any old television on it with a HDMI slot. This does have onboard graphics on this chip, as does the motherboard. So it will music stream, you know, some light gaming, videos, etc. Check his emails that he wanted. It will do the lot. If he wants to upgrade in the future, I've left him an upgrade path. So when GPUs come down in price, he could probably get like a cheapish 1050, put it in there, and it could quite happily run medium, even some AAA games on lower settings. The Ryzen 3 chip is a very good chip, and I'm only selling it to him for 50 quid. You find a better one. It's only done about 50 cycles on my old system, so he's got an absolute steal. Okay, that concludes part 1 of my brother's impossible build for £200. Join me in part 2, which is coming straight up as a double feature, and we'll see where we go from here. Remember, be good, be kind, have fun. Captain out.